Hello and welcome to another episode of the Expanse Abridged Podcast series. Today we have chapter 27, which is a Holden chapter of the first book, Leviathan Wakes. So the last chapter, some big alarms went off, very exciting times, and Miller and the gang being Holden, Amos, Alex and Naomi, were all being told to go down to the shelters by some dodgy guards. And as they're on the way down, Miller's spidey senses were tingling, and he noticed that these guards weren't proper guards. They were actually thugs from series from like half a year before or something, like way before. They used to arrest and like do generic cop things too. And he realised that, oh shit, they're the same people. So why are they in the previous riot gear? Why are they here? Like, oh shit, something really big's going on. I probably ought not to do what they say, which is go to a radiation shelter. And he says, Holden, please stay. Or don't go. And this chapter opens with Holden going, what do you mean, don't go? Somebody nuked the station. This is beyond our capacity to respond. And Miller took a step back, put his hands up, trying not to be threatening, which pissed Holden off even more. And this is from Holden's POV. So Miller starts chatting. He's doing his thing, which obviously looks worse when you watch it from Holden's perspective than from Miller, when Miller's a smooth-talking big G. And Miller's like, see that bruiser over there in the police riot gear? The name is Gabby Smalls. He supervises a chunk of the Golden Bow protection racket on series. He runs a little dust on the side, and I think he's thrown a few people out airlocks. Holden looks at him, the guy with the big belly who's sticking out, and now Holden sees it. He's like, that guy doesn't actually look like a policeman. And he's saying, a couple months ago when you started riots by saying Mars blew up your water hauler, we found out all our riot gear was missing. A few months before that, a load of the underworld muscle went missing from series. I just found out where both of them are. And I wouldn't go wherever he's sending people. And it's like, good, honestly Miller, good fucking point. I'll give him that. I really wouldn't go that way. And Alex is like, if the choice is between radiation and mobsters, I'd go with mobsters. And to which Miller pulls out his terminal and goes, have you got a radiation warning? There isn't any radiation on this level. There's no need to rush. Naomi is still there being like, we have to go back to the ship. We have to get out of there. But Miller's like, we shouldn't do it the way you're thinking of, because the only way to get there is through the casino levels. And we have to walk through them. They'll be full of thugs in riot gear, armed. And if they'll just get us, and if they try and fight, they'll just throw us in those chambers anyway, and they'll just beat us unconscious. So we need to think of a better way to do this. And they're kind of in the corridor, they're getting hit by people who are rushing down there, and Miller points to a yellow and black striped hatch down the hallway, and he's like, right, we'll go hide in there. It's marked high voltage, and people aren't going to go in there because it's dangerous. Amos, go open it. Obviously, because Amos is a jack of all trades, he walks up and just breaks it open with a multi-tool. They get in this old dirty tunnel, and it like goes into the gloom in the distance, so you can't even see down it, it's not properly lit. And Naomi's having to crouch as she gets in. She's complaining she's like, well, we would have made this corridor tall enough for belters to work in. And Holden realises this was made before belters were tall. This tunnel goes back to the first belt colony. The people who carved it grew up in gravity. So we're getting some lore, we're in the old stuff before the belters got weird and tall. And they're like, don't touch the cable because it's a few million volts. If you touch it, you'll melt. And Miller's like, right, we can just wait here for a while until all the sweeps have gone. They've got everyone down to the shelters, what they're trying to do with people. Then we can go to the docks. Alex is like, why don't we just try and go around these maintenance passages? We can like go through the underworld of the city, of the asteroid. But they're like, without a map, you'll just get lost and it'll be even worse. So let's just wait this out. And so again, the plan is to wait it out, and then Miller nodded at him. After Holden kind of says the plan, Miller nodded at him, and then the two men sat staring at each other for a moment. The air between them seemed to thicken, the silence taking on a meaning of its own. Miller shrugged like his jacket itched, and they kind of discussed the plan. Like, why do you think a bunch of series mobsters are moving everyone to radiation shelters when there's no radiation? And Holden kind of goes, it'd be really stupid to go and have a look at what's going on, wouldn't it? It's Holden and Miller chatting. Like, yes, whatever's going on at those shelters, that's where all the guards and patrols will be, Miller said. Yeah, Holden said. Captain, said Naomi, a warning in her voice. Holden kept talking to Miller. Still, you hate a mystery. Miller, I do at that, and you, my friend, are a damn busybody. It has been said. God damn it, Naomi swears. She goes, you two are going to be very bad for each other, and by extension us. Which is very cute, knowing where it kind of goes in future books, that these guys have that relationship from the very start. And Holden goes, look, we're going to go have a look. If I'm not back in 3 hours, and then Naomi interrupts going, yeah, we'll leave you to the gangsters, and the three of us will get jobs in Tycho and live happily ever after. So they kind of move out, Miller and Holden. The boys, they just want to be boys. They just want to go have a look. They want to be on tour. And Miller tries to make a phone call to ring Summer Timber, but the phone network's been down, which is the first thing you'd probably do if you were staging kind of a coup or trying to control people. And they both have to pull out their handguns ready for a fight. And they're kind of moving with the general vibe of the crowds, thinking you don't want to make like a... they're trying to figure out what's going on, but they're not going against, they just want to go with the crowd, see what's happening. And they eventually get to a group they're following, a large metal door with the radiation symbol on it. And our guys, Holden and Miller slipped off to the side and hid behind a large planter filled with ferns and a couple of stunted trees. So they're just doing the thing where they hide in the bush. And they watched the fake riot cops order everyone at the shelter and seal the door behind them with a swipe of a card. All but one of them left, the remaining one standing guard outside the door. Miller whispered, "Let's ask him to let us in." "Follow my lead," Holden replied, and then stood up and began walking towards the guard. And he kind of walks over to him going, "Oh, geez, man," doing his Morty from Rick impression, like, "Oh, geez, man, I don't know where I am. I'm so lost. What am I going to do?" The guy's like, "Shithead, go downstairs." And as he's about to saying that, and he gets out his stun baton to point, Miller appears out of nowhere, his gun already out, and points at the guard's head. He thumbs off the safety an audible click. "Open up the door." And the guy drops his gun, and he drops his baton, and he's like, "You don't want to do that, man. That's one thing they were really clear on. You don't want to open those doors." They being these mysterious people that hired him. And Miller's like, "Do you know what a no-brainer is? It's when a shot to the head actually blows out the entire brain of someone's skull, from someone's skull. It usually happens when a gun is pressed to the victim's head right about here. The gas has got nowhere to go, pops the brain right out through the exit wound." So Miller's just kind of gone like full Joker mode of, you want to know where I got these scars? And just threatening strangers with horrible injuries. And death as well, but probably the injury is slightly worse, slightly better than the death. And Miller's like, "This is, I'm not asking again, do it, or next time I'll take the card off your body." And Holden's kind of trying to be calm. He's like, "Just open the door, we'll let you go, I promise." And they open the door. It says, "The heavy blast door slid open. Beyond it, the room was even darker than the corridor outside. A few emergency LEDs glowed a sullen red. In the faint illumination, Holden could see dozens, hundreds of bodies scattered across the floor, unmoving." "Are they dead?" Holden asked. "I don't know anything about," the guard said, but Miller cut him off. "You go in first," and pushed him forward. Then 3 things happened at once. The guard took 4 steps forward and then collapsed on the floor. Miller sneezed once, loudly, and then started to sway drunkenly. And both Holden and Miller's hand terminals began an angry electric buzzing. Miller staggered back, said the door. Holden hit the door and the door slid shut again. "Gas," Miller said. "There's gas in there." While the ex-cop leaned against the corridor wall and coughed, Miller took out his terminal to shut off the buzzing. But the alarm flashing on its screen wasn't an air contamination alert. It was the venerable 3 wedge shapes pointing inward, radiation. As he watched the symbol, which should have been white, shifted from an angry orange colour to dark red. Miller too was looking at his. "We've been dosed. I've never seen it activate." And then Holden says, "It means we'll be bleeding from our rectums in about 6 hours. We have to get to the ship. It has the meds we need." So our boys have just realised there's hundreds of people dead in one shelter. There are thousands of shelters. They estimate there could be like 250,000 space-in shelters, and if they're cramming people in, there'll be more. They've just been hit with a lethal radiation dose, and they've killed the poor guard who's been gassed. And they stopped panicking. Well, not panicking, but like going, "What the fuck is going on?" Holden's skin felt warm and itchy. He didn't know if it was radiation burn or psychosomatic. With the amount of radiation he'd just taken, it was a good thing he had sperm tucked away in Montana and on Europa. Thinking about that made his balls itch. And they immediately go like, "Oh, fucking hell," and start running back on themselves. And being like, why are they doing this? Are they pretending to nuke the asteroid, give everyone that radiation poisoning, gassing him to keep them quiet? Miller's like, "There's easier ways to kill people." And then Holden kind of realises the bug, the one that was on Julie, it fed on radiation. Then they're kind of running up. They're hiding in a corner at one point. There's another group of people. They pull to the side, hide in an old noodle shop, and they realise they've just infected all those people and dosed them with radiation, which is the perfect breeding ground for the bug. And Miller walks up to a crowd of like leading by some guards, says "Officer," and one of them says, "You're supposed to be," and the Miller shot him in the throat, right below his helmet's faceplate. Then he swiveled smoothly and shot the other guard in the inside of his thigh, just below the groin. When the man fell backward, yelling in pain, Miller walked up and shot him again, this time in the neck. Then he tells the guards, "Go down a level or 2, find somewhere to hide, do not cooperate with these people, they don't have your best interests at heart." And then he turns back to Holden, and before Holden started to speak with Miller, cuts him off and says, "Take the throat shot if you can. Most people, the faceplate and chest armour doesn't quite cover that gap. If the neck is covered, then shoot the inside of the thigh. Very thin armour for mobility. Takes most people down in one shot." Holden was like, "Can we just go to the ship and can we not shoot people, please?" Like, Miller, please, you're going full Joker mode. And says, "No more shooting people, we can help it." Miller reloads his gun, slaps it on his thigh, and says, "I'm guessing there's a lot more people need to be shot before this is over. But sure, first things first." So, whoa, good chapter there. There's some proper spicy shit going on. So look, obviously Miller's gone full Joker mode, and you can see his different approach to Holden. Even though they both like mischief and going exploring, Holden doesn't like the whole just randomly killing people. While Miller, that's kind of, I don't know, almost what he enjoys, the fun of it. And you also see that first tension there where Miller's freely doing it, kind of going about it, and Holden doesn't want to. And you just get a good bit of action. And you also see, like, holy shit, this kind of malarkey with all these people going into these radiation shelters as they're being dosed, they're being killed, and they're being seeded with the bug that had Julie. So it's very exciting times. And I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a lovely week.